We're in the belly of the beast. I'm going to get straight into it. No intro. Today, this is what we're looking at right now. 8%. 8% since the president has been elected. On the opening hours right now of the S&P 500, we're down 2%. The NASDAQ looks even worse. We're down for the daily on the NASDAQ, 2.75%. On the weekly, it looks terrible. We've been down for 4 green candles. We're in a crash. We're in a crash. The president was elected right over here on the 5th of November. We've completely done a whole round trip. We've gone straight back to square one. Matter of fact, we're lower than where we were previously. The Dow Jones on the 5th of November, we've completely gone to square one again. Matter of fact, we've round tripped and gone down even further. Since he's been elected, like literally elected and come into office, we've been down 6%. Trump is trying to break the market. He's trying to make people bow down, including you. He's trying to make you bend the knee. The Dixie is down, which normally is a great thing for risk on assets. However, look at this. Apple down 4%. 4% for the day. This is Tesla. It looks terrible. Terrible. It's gone down 51% since December 2024. Since Trump has been in office, Tesla has gone down 51%. Netflix since January has gone down 20%. Oil has gone down. Gold has gone down. Silver has gone down. This is a market-wide sell-off. The 30-year yield has gone down. 10-year yield has gone down. 2-year yield has gone down. Across the board, we have a market-wide sell-off. Nvidia, since the peak in the 7th of January, has gone down a whopping 30%. 30%. This right here looks like distribution. Every typical market has the same setup. We have a period of ascend, period of distribution, and a period of decline. Is this, ladies and gentlemen, what we've been waiting for? A market crash, a black swan event? We're going to have to wait and see. But right now, we're in the belly of the beast. For some reason, CNN always bring this guy. This is Tommy Lee. Whenever you see a crash, this is the guy they call.
Investors view this as a crisis when it's really a growth scare. So to me, I think there's a good chance we're making our lows for the first half, like this week. And
like down 5-6%, you mean?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is I'm not that optimistic about the job picture for the near term. So maybe that's one last leg. But the reality is that a lot of bad news has gotten priced in.
To be honest, the whole market is saying the same. They're singing the same tune as me. And Trump wants a crash. He wants rates to go down to 2%. Here is another person and said Trump has told Jeremy Powell to cut interest rates. Powell didn't do it. Now Trump is trying to force Powell to cut interest rates by crashing asset prices. We'll see who blinks first. You've heard it here first, and I've told you this a long time ago, okay? Interest rates are at 4%. It's very, very, very high. However, the debt ceiling is at a whopping 36 trillion US dollars. Interest rates are far too high to pay off this debt. The debt is maturing, and it's going to mature in 2025, this year. That means Trump has to pay and refinance 7 trillion US dollars. 7 trillion US dollars on an interest rate of 4.5%. That's not going to happen. He has to cut. He has to make Powell bend the knee. Let's have a look at the sick man of Europe, the failed country, United Kingdom. And the debt level is at a whopping 2.7 trillion pound. Interest payments by the second that must be repaid is $2,552. The national debt per citizen, check this out, is $40,000 US dollars. Interest payments per year in the United Kingdom, now wait for it, is 71 billion with a B that they must pay every single year. Interest rates in the US is at 4.5%. He needs it to go down to 2%. And at the moment, if you look at the Fed funds rate, the Fed still do not want to budge. It's at 97% that they're going to hold this quarter. The Fed meeting is happening in 9 days. In 9 days, they still do not want to bend the knee. They need to bend the knee, folks. They must bend the knee. Now let's have a look at the fear and greed index. The stock market is at extreme fear. We're at 15. We've broken the 120-day moving average for the S&P 500. The strength has gone down. Even breadth, puts and calls, market volatility has increased. Across the board, we're not looking good. We're at extreme greed. Some of the reasons for the spike in fear and greed is because of CPI. CPI is steadily going up. year on year, currently at 3%. The consensus forecast is 2.9%. The previous was 3%. The actual needs to go lower. We're going to get the forecast in a few more days. I'll be really honest. This is terrible news. In deflation hit China. One store holds a flash sale 4 times a day. I shouldn't be laughing, but that's terrible. That is terrible, you know. There's deflation happening in China, massive deflation. The exercise was one of 4 each day in the store that sells clothing, snacks, basic household products just outside Beijing's financial district. We do flash sales to reduce inventory pressure. We run a small profit, quick turnover business model. Now you're wondering, why on earth are they doing flash sales? Chinese consumers are grappling with uncertainty about jobs, and incomes are increasingly turning into discount stores at a time of expanding industrial capacity in a space of a sluggish household demand. Deflation means a recession. The fear and greed for crypto is at 20%. Bitcoin on a quarterly is down by 11%. Ethereum is down by 36%. On the monthly, we're down for March 1.76%. On average, we normally go up by 12%. 12%. However, this year, it's looking like we're heading into a bear market. Or are we? Are we not? We're going to find out. Like I said in the previous episode, if it doesn't reclaim this area, we're heading lower. Normally, a bear market comes when it's just too late. All of these influencers will tell you when it's far too late. This is the super weekly trend on Bitcoin. And by the time your influencer tells you to sell, it's probably already in a bear market. That's the truth. Me personally, I told my private members to take profits around here. We could see lower prices, but by then we could head into a bear market. We have to hedge our positions. This could be a left translated cycle. I'll get into that in another video. Bitcoin has gone underneath the moving averages. The last time we've done that was during here. It isn't the end of the world because we normally retest this area and then go back into higher prices. So it's not clearly the end of the world. In the next couple of weeks, we're about to see a death cross. And normally what happens during a death cross is, I've said this so many times, we normally pump into a death cross. So most likely we probably could head to 75 to 71,000 US dollars and then continue into this death cross. We normally always pump into a death cross. As you can see here, we formed a death cross. Price action normally pumps into a death cross. And again, another death cross. We pump into a death cross before we make a decisive move either to the downside or to the upside. I'm going to repeat myself one more time. We're going to get a death cross in a few weeks. Once these two cross, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see price action head up higher. As of now, in the immediate term, we're going to see lower prices. Now, I know majority of participants in crypto just want me to give them that dopamine hit. You know, they want me just to say to them, guys, Ethereum is going to 5,000 US dollars in tomorrow. Guys, Bitcoin is going to $120,000. Guys, ADA, Solana, we're going to the moon. Your favorite coin, Mint Layer, is going to $100. But I have to be honest, prices look like we're heading lower until, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this in every episode. This right here, until this right here, this line over here, you know, this squiggly line over here, this one here, guess what it is? I've spoken about it in nearly every episode. Until this turns around, ladies and gentlemen, altcoins are risk on. They are just a risk on play. Just like Tesla is risk on. It's gone down from the peak to the trough 51%. 51%. It's a risk on play. Altcoins are a technology play. They're a risk on play. Bitcoin, however, has turned into a store of value. I'll explain this very clearly to you. I'll show you. Tesla has reclaimed the entire move, okay, since Trump has been elected. The S&P 500 has reclaimed the entire move. He was elected on the 5th of November, reclaimed it as of today. We've just done a full circle. All the buyers are now down. Any buyer during this period is now down. That goes for the S&P 500. That goes for the NASDAQ. That goes for the Dow Jones. However, surprisingly, Bitcoin hasn't done a full circle. look very carefully and closely, since the 5th of November till now, we're still 5% away. Bitcoin has been actually faring the best out of all the asset groups. The S&P 500 made a full circle. Nasdaq, full circle. Dow Jones, full circle. Matter of fact, some of them are minus since the 5th of November. Are we in a bear market? No, we're in limbo. We're in no man's land. The minute you can get out now and get into stable coins and wait for lower prices, but the minute we head into this area right over here, ladies and gentlemen, it's a bear market. Khalas, it's done. But as of now, we're in no man's land. You can either take profits now, wait for it to bounce back and take profits, or you should have taken profits during this area, and this was distributions. It happens. It's fine. You can still get out of these positions, wait for a bounce back. We've got plenty of time to take profits if you're stuck in certain trades. Altcoins look very, very bad. And to be honest, if you think altcoins can't go lower, they can surely go lower. I'll give you just a typical example. Some of them even get delisted. This is BVM. Had one glorious time. I've spoken about this on this channel. When had a glorious moment for 2 weeks. Since then, it keeps going lower and lower. And I'll just show you. If you thought your coin couldn't go down, it went down 88%. Okay? Then it goes down another 70%. And then it goes another 75%. And then it goes another, imagine you buy the dip and it goes another 78%. Another 76%. And you know what? It hasn't even dropped 100%. If right now from here to here, it's still 99%. And during that time, you've gone down multiple times of 70%, 70%, 70%, 70%. So if you think your altcoins can't go lower, they can surely go lower. There are some coins that do outperform. We have the likes of Berachain, the likes of BGB, the likes of Get.io, etc., etc. However, in this market, there are more coins that underperform than rather outperform. It's far better to bet on underperforming assets than trying to find a needle in the haystack. When the market changes and pivots, we have to react and we have to change and pivot. We trade the market going up, down, or sideways. So join our private members. Link in the description below. Ethereum price targets. Next area to buy, I'm looking at 1700, and then finally I'm looking at 1600. Solana price targets. The next area to buy for me personally is $110. Pumped up fun, and their bonding curve has gone down to 0. There's no more meme tokens happening on Solana. I think it's heading to $70 to $75. That's a great area to buy. Maybe see a dead cat bounce. Now remember, the tide doesn't change. It takes a long time. These things don't make a V-shaped recovery like that. If you look back in this area during this time, it took a long time. I was there. It took such a long time. It took like 2 months. It doesn't sound much right now, but when you're in the midst of it and you're hearing all the bulls and the bears constantly trying to change the narrative, constantly arguing amongst each other, bickering, all sorts, and then finally big money actually steps. We're going to have the same kind of period. It's going to take us it's going to take us a while, ladies and gentlemen. By the end of April, we're going to see the market actually show convincingly and prove to us, because I want the market to prove to us that it's heading up higher. It's going to be chop season, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to have a choppy market. ADA heading downwards, going to fill this wick over here. We have AVAX heading downwards to my next area of buy. The next area is over here at $13. During a bear market, if you think this is a bear market, ladies and gentlemen, you've not seen a bear market. It's so bad. There's no demand, literally. This is just a mini bear market. If you've seen a real bear market, boy, oh boy. Dodge is heading down. Next area of support is at 14 cents. XRP is just underneath this area. I did tell my private members to take profits. There was a few participants that made some very, very good gains on XRP. I told them to take profits. This is clearly an area of distribution. My end target was at $6.40. However, this looks to me, objectively speaking, of course, I want higher prices, but objectively speaking, this looks like distribution. Link is currently at $13.52. This, ladies and gentlemen, was a fake out over here, and we're heading back into this pennant right here. Let's have a look at the total market. Is heading lower right now. It's not a massive issue. We're not making lower lows as of now. I'll say if it heads to this area, then clearly that's going to be detrimental. Total 2 doesn't look good. We hit this area as resistance. Looks like it's distribution right over here, and we're forming a lower low. If it does make a new lower low right over here, then of course all of this is bear market territory. Now remember, monetary policy is key, ladies and gentlemen. We need the Fed to bow down. Once he bows down and takes the knee, then we're going to see higher prices. I think this is the first time some of you have actually witnessed a crash. We're down almost 4%. I think this is the biggest in history so far. I think the last time we saw these kind of numbers was during the COVID crash. The NASDAQ is down a whopping 5%. These are the periods where CNBC called one man and one man only, and that is Tommy Lee. We got market-wide crash everywhere. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Powell is shaking in his boots right now. He's shaking in his boots. He's going to probably do 50 basis point. Maybe, just maybe, stop quantitative tightening and what we've all been waiting for, QT. Let the fireworks begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting.